Here we go.
Jason Bourne is directed by Paul Greengrass and it stars Matt Damon reprising arguably his most iconic role as Jason Bourne. Now if you've been keeping an eye on my channel, you will notice that I have done reviews of all the previous Bourne films, which if you haven't seen them, give them a watch, they're a good time. This film follows Jason Bourne as once again he is drawn out of hiding in order to learn about his origins and the origins of Treadstone. Now this movie was one of my most anticipated films of this entire year. I love the Bourne trilogy. I think they are fantastic, realistic, espionage action thrillers that I honestly believe is one of the best trilogies of all time. So I had really high expectations for this movie because not only is it about one of my favorite characters, but it actually has Paul Greengrass and Matt Damon returning. And the last time we got a Bourne movie was in 2012 with The Bourne Legacy, which isn't really a bad movie per se, it's just a bad Bourne movie. So they released that movie with Jeremy Renner playing a Bourne type character, and the fans were like, no, Give us the other guy. So that brings us to where we are now, 4 years later with Jason Bourne. So by now it's safe to say that if Matt Damon is playing Jason Bourne, he's going to do a terrific job. The guy doesn't know how to be bad playing this character. Once again, he brings an electric and exciting performance with this character that propelled his career forward more than 10 years ago. And there was one scene with Bourne and Nikki involved in a foot chase during a riot, and Bourne does a few things that really got me excited for this movie and really were like, okay, now Bourne's back, here we go. And Matt Damon isn't the only one who gives a good performance in this movie. Alicia Vikander, who plays the CIA kind of computer hacker chick, I thought she did a pretty respectable job. In the beginning I thought she was going to be a little shaky because Alicia Vikander in real life is a British woman, and at the beginning of this film you could kind of hear her accent and I was like, oh god, please don't do this for the rest of the movie. I don't want to be like, I know you're British, but you're trying really hard not to be right now. But overall, I thought she did a respectable job considering what she has to go up against. Paul Greengrass does return to direct this film, and he does what you've come to expect, which is lots of shaky cam and that documentary, realistic feel to this film. And Greengrass delivers, once again, with a coherent movie that has fantastic action sequences. There are a few action set pieces in this movie that I really enjoyed and I thought were on par with the original movies. And it was great to have Paul Greengrass return to direct this movie because it proves that he still has the shaky cam technique in him and he still is able to do it well. This movie has the ingredients to work. It has Matt Damon reprising this role, Alicia Vikander and Tommy Lee Jones, who are both Oscar winners, and Paul Greengrass returning to direct this film. It should work. So although this movie is really entertaining and it has all the perfect ingredients, there wasn't really anything about this movie that really sucked me in and really grabbed me. There's this entire subplot of the social media outlet that the CIA is trying to utilize so that they can keep an eye on the whole world and be kind of that big brother. And although that is a relevant topic, it is a little trite because it's been done and done and done. In fact, hell, it's been done by Matt Damon with the Adjustment Bureau. This movie didn't really change anything. It didn't really bring anything new to this story. Each of the previous Bourne films has a distinctive tone with each film. The first is an espionage movie, the second is this revenge thriller, and the third is a straight-up action movie. And this movie doesn't really feel different. It didn't feel like it was its own thing. Next thing I'm going to say is a mild spoiler, so click to this point in the video and that will skip you forward to my final thoughts. So when I was leaving this movie, I was talking to my dad and trying to see where this movie would go from here. What would a sequel bring to the table? And the truth is, this movie pretty much ends the exact same place it started. It kind of just comes full circle. So it'd probably start off with Bourne being in like Argentina or somewhere, and then the CIA bringing like, oh my god, that's Jason Bourne, we need to bring him in. I don't really feel like that movie would really be any different than what this was. Nothing really made me want to see another movie or really even wanted to see this movie. To be honest, I really didn't feel like this movie needed to exist other than the fact that the last Bourne movie wasn't that great. Unfortunately, this movie wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, but it was still entertaining. And unfortunately, I feel like people's expectations are so freaking high that anything less than that, they're just calling a bad movie, which I don't really think is fair. There's good movies, there's bad movies, and then there's also pretty good movies or just okay movies, and I feel like Jason Bourne falls into that category as just being a good, fun movie. It's not great, it's not bad, it's just fine. Thank you guys for watching today. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, click a link down below and subscribe to my channel to see more movie reviews and movie related things. And guys, thank you so much for watching and see you next time.